But MFA, I don't know.
We have more still to come right here on Newsnight. That wave of disappointment that's crashing across the nation following that particular announcement by organized labor after they abruptly called off this highly anticipated national strike. We'll get to hear more on that. And also the media coalition has declared tomorrow a red armband day against illegal mining. We'll get to hear from them.
Express our Galamsey and wear our red band. We would also write to the EPA to make sure that they don't find any permit for these people that the Minerals Commission has given under the LI 2462.
And there's another source of hope. It remains the Catholic Archdiocese of Accra, which says their prayer protest on Friday is on course.
The Catholic Archdiocese of Accra are calling on all Catholics, Christians and all well-meaning Ghanaians to join the environmental prayer walk to advocate for government to declare a state of emergency to stop all forms of mining activities to allow for healing of the land.
And tonight, Joy News can confirm that illegal miners who were mining close to the Enyinim police station in the eastern region have abandoned sites, leaving behind pits and gullies.
In fact, having and there's a ultimately a fool and yet a abandoned.
We'll take you live to Enyinim in the eastern region, that mining area, which was a topical issue at the Government Assurance Committee. Also, private legal practitioner Martin Kpebu slams the criminal justice system for putting impediments in the way of the execution of bail for 52 protesters granted bail, yet still being held due to delay in the bail process.
The situation is very, very, very untenable. This delay that protesters were given bail on Monday and Wednesday, we are still struggling to go through the administrative process, tells you that the justice system is failing us.
Plus, we have our climate focus for today. That and more coming up on Newsnight, still to come right here. You can join us with your thoughts, your comments via WhatsApp. I know there are loads of them with the hashtag Newsnight on all our social media platforms. Also via WhatsApp is 055 1111997. We're live on Joy 99.7 FM here in Accra and Kumasi on Love 99.5 FM live on myjoyonline.com and all our social media platforms. Let's take a quick break and dig in. Thanks for staying with us here on Newsnight on Joy 99.7 FM here in Accra and Kumasi on Love 99.5 FM live on myjoyonline.com. I have many of your reactions that we'll be going through, but depending on where you stand this evening, you must be heaving a huge sigh of relief, or on the other hand, you must be experiencing some form of despair or anger or disappointment. Really, that sums up the general mood in Ghana right now after organized labor, which is seen as the last bastion of hope, abruptly called off its highly anticipated nationwide strike at the 11th hour. So there are a number of things that have happened over a period, almost a month ago, which was on the 11th of September. Organized labor, led by the Trade Union Congress, demanded the immediate halt of the illegal mining on water bodies and in forest reserves and the declaration of a state of emergency. Well, since then, they've held at least 3 meetings with government, and today they've made a U-turn. They say they are satisfied with the enhanced measures that government announced. I think we need to go back into time a bit and let's walk down memory lane on what has happened over the period.
Our strike remains unchanged. I want to repeat, the strike notice remains unchanged. If they do, we are finished. They should go all out. The churches should support. Muslims should support. This is it.
In fact, nothing has changed from the Monday to consider what the president's response would be. But I can assure you that our strike is on course. We have started engaging our employers to let them know that come on the 13th, we are not coming to work.
Well, I did not know about this morning any meeting today, and I'm yet to find out from the leadership of the 3 platforms whether there was a meeting and whether they attended. I am not aware. I am hearing for the first time that there was any meeting of any sort. I don't think I'm hearing right. I have to find out.
I hope that others would not leave to live in a manner or would not conduct ourselves in a manner that will make people believe the useless allegation that some of our leaders have been given 400,000 cities. 400,000 cities. That's cheap. We are not that poor. If people do not conduct themselves well and then we act in a manner that festers that bogus allegation that some people have been bribed, then some of us will lead our individual association to break ranks and to strike on our own.
Not even a bottle of water would I accept. I have my integrity to protect. I represent Ghanaian workers. Please.
So nothing was given.
I have given you my resources. You can verify from anyone, from anybody. I'm saying that not even a bottle of water would I accept, or any of us will accept in such meetings. If somebody took something, I'm not aware.
And some of the sounds you heard was as early as just this Monday, with Labour insisting that that action was going to happen come tomorrow. Well, we've been hearing from the Media Coalition Against Illegal Mining and also the Catholic Archdiocese. We'll be hearing from them. But this is the decision that Labour communicated today.
At a meeting of Organised Labour on October 7th, 2024, the meeting resolved that the measures announced by government were not adequate in addressing our demands and stopping the dangers posed by illegal mining. We therefore affirmed the strike notice and informed the government accordingly. Yesterday, October 8, 2024, the government team met with the leadership of Organised Labour and Ghana Employers Association. The meeting discussed at length Organised Labour's response to the earlier measures announced by government. Following this meeting, government offered enhanced and time-bound measures in respect of our demands and the fight against illegal mining.
Well, so that's the Secretary General of the TUC, Joshua Ansah, at that press conference today. So some of the enhanced measures communicated by the presidency in that statement issued a while ago today. It says they are deploying additional military personnel, also the suspension of mining in forest reserves, strengthened prosecution of illegal mining cases, and then also a call for a national pact on illegal mining. Well, there were key demands that were made by Labour. But this statement is signed by Eugene Ahin, Director of Communications Office of the President. Well, just today, my colleague Erastus Asaridonko has been on the ground and extensively he's been reporting on issues about illegal mining. Well, he can report this evening that at the illegal mining sites, at least, the last one we've been talking about in the last few days is Enyinem. And we were told that right behind the police station there, this has been disputed by the Ghana Police Service. But he can tell you tonight that this particular mining sites, they are located about 200 meters behind and 5 minutes walk across the main Kumasi-Accra Road from the Enyinem police station. The Ghana Police Service, we know they've come under some strong public criticism after the Minerals Commission boss revealed he had notified the police about an illegal mining activity which went on behind the Enyinem police station. The police says there's been no report, but many have questioned whether the police needs a formal complaint before they can take action when indeed this mining site, even if it is beyond or a kilometer around the police station. But here's what my colleague Erastus Asaridonko found when he went to Enyinem today, and this is his report.
This is Enyinem, and behind me is the Enyinem police station. Now, this is what has become the subject of discussion of late. Behind this police station, about 200 meters, you will find an illegal mining site, which looks abandoned. But ahead of me, that is ahead of the Enyinem police station, about 100 meters from here, there are a lot of mining sites, illegal mining sites, lining the Brim River, which is just here to this direction. So I'm going to go over there and we're going to film and show you the number of mining sites we have ahead of the Enyinem police station.
In fact, Galon, tell us what to another call is a fool. And yet, a ma abandons anyway a guasi. I was saying, man who Timid say a coming qua, Naka, a Senacomo, Chaffan for only seems to know more. ana ayifo no so akra enema ba ayifo se chana fo no akra enema ba am okọ face na chi ho no omoto se ho niema chanfan fo no nti me de se ka menku a anka aban Galamsey ni bia be so yele betu no so bia no monku no wonche no no e ofan kotu.
On the inaction of the police, despite the proximity of the illegality to the law enforcement agency, he said the commander cannot act without the backing of the chief of the town.
Sadia se yohini eto na mo ebehye commander se say na atomedia e commander so hodin e ma wo zo etusa e be commander betime to na mo no hin e dey esase e ma na ma fo e adwuma no e ma sa no sebi onko na sebi o ba kofo ayemman ana se bia onko commander no onko a opimpim mo ere emwe ni so hin no an support ndia wo de na hodin ntimi anya hwe.
Few days ago you could see that there were a number of champagne machines working and operating here by the Brim River. Now you can see the nature of the river as it flows over here, prevented by a number of champagne machines which sit on it over there. Now the place has been cleared, but that is the Kumasi-Accra Road, and that is the Enyinem Bridge over the Brim River. And the pollution has gone on for months under the direct watch of the police.
The result of the unchecked illegality at the Enyinem is the highly polluted Brim flowing along the main Kumasi-Accra Road. Time will tell whether these champagne operators are really gone. Reporting for Joy News, Erastus Asaredonko, Enyinem, Eastern Region.
And that's my colleague Erastus Asaredonko's report just today, and it will be available also on the Joy News channel and the news at 7, and you can see for yourself what he found at that site in Enyinem. Well, all hope is not lost for many of you. I've seen your messages and the concerns that you're raising, but we can hear from the Catholic Church, the Archdiocese of Accra. They maintain that that prayer protest will happen on Friday, October 11. Let's listen to them.
The Catholic Archdiocese of Accra and the Conference of Major Superiors of the Religious in Ghana are calling on all Catholics, Christians and all well-meaning Ghanaians to join the environmental prayer walk against Galamsey. The goals of this prayer walk is to raise awareness about devastating effect of the Galamsey, advocate for government to declare a state of emergency to stop all forms of mining activities, to allow for evaluation of the damages and also healing of the land. Mobilize Catholics and Ghanaians to demand that government acts now and not keep giving promises. Foster collaboration among stakeholders to address the issue of mining activities that are destructive to our environment. And finally, to promote environmental sustainability and protection. The date is on Friday, 11th October 2024. Time 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Converging point is the Holy Spirit Cathedral from 8 a.m. We present petitions to the Presidency at the Jubilee House. End point will be Christ the King Parish, Cantonment, with Episcopal Mass, with His Grace the Archbishop as the main celebrant. So during this prayer walk, we shall come with our rosary. Those who are not Catholic are also invited. Even if you don't pray the rosary, at least you join us and pray.
So that's Reverend Father Nicholas Azine, is president of the National Justice, Peace and Integrity of Creation at the Catholic Archdiocese here in Accra. So at least, and there's something happening on the 11th here in Accra. But we've also been hearing from the convener of the Media Coalition Against Illegal Mining, Kenneth Ashigbe. He's been speaking to my colleague Samuel Kojo Brace moments ago on Top Story.
Well, they have their own issues. You've heard Professor Jampo say the things they are going, they're saying. But the reason for our the red band is even a lot more serious now. We seem to have some indication or some actions that are going to be taken. You don't have too clear timelines on them, but we know that the EPA is working together with the Minister for Environment and then Attorney General for this memo to go. So the time now is for the media coalition to do what it is that we know best how to do, to make sure that we keep the pressure on government. And so we need to mobilize all the listeners of Joy FM, all the multimedia brands and the viewers, that tomorrow we should, express our revulsion for this Galamsey and wear our red bands, so that what the points that government said it's going to do in terms of the revocation is that. But if you see, if it was the media coalition or the rest of the Ghana coalition, we would know that beyond just saying that you're revoking the LI, it is important that the president issues an EI to revoke all the permits. There are several permits that have been given for people to mine in the forest reserve under this LI 2462. And so we're going to be writing to His Excellency the President to revoke all of those permits. We would also write to the EPA to make sure that they don't find any permits for these people that the Minerals Commission has given under the LI 2462. So that we don't have to then say, this board would now come back to us and say, the permits were given to them when the LI 2462 was subsisting. So once the President has declared his intention to revoke it, the President should then also issue that EI that does not require anything from Parliament to revoke all of these permits immediately. And then we would also ensure that our members, so multimedia, including Erastus and all of them, we will be out in the field to make sure that actually the people, the military and the forest guards that are supposed to be getting people out of the forest reserve are doing so. We would be calling on all citizens as they wear the red bands. If you are anywhere, you see any of the champans still on the water bodies, take the pictures and send to us. The time to be able to keep the pressure on government to ensure that what it is that the President has said he's going to do, he's doing. It's really, really now that we really need to do that. It is in the light of that the Catholic Church on Friday, will still go ahead with their prayer walk, their peaceful prayer walk, to ensure that the things that his President has proposed, God will dispose.
So it's a red armband day tomorrow, but we know that the statement falls short of announcing a declaration of a state of emergency, one of the key demands of organized labor. Yet they are satisfied with the enhanced measures. And the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Samuel Abujinapo, has been speaking on the Super Morning Show today in spite of a concern about the turbidity level in water bodies, especially in mining areas, which remains a major health concern. He says it is safe to drink.
The conclusion that our river bodies have never been this bad is not one that is entirely correct. Our river bodies are polluted. There's absolutely no two ways about that. They've been polluted over a long period of time, and we have a problem on our hands, which we have to deal with. To determine the quality of river bodies is not just the color of the river body. The experts will tell you.
At least clarify one thing, Mr. Jinapo. Would you drink the water that comes out of your tap?
Why not? I drink it every day. Even this morning, I drank water from the tap.
Well,
I do. But that does not suggest.
Wait, let's clarify. You would drink the water.
Of course I will. Why would I not? I do it every day.
You know that the Ghana Water Company has said that
I went to the bathroom and had my oral hygiene with the water from Ghana Water Company. Is that not drinking it?
And you know that the Ghana Water Company has stated quite clearly that their purification process does not remove heavy metals.
I don't contest all of that. I don't contest the issue of our water bodies being polluted.
Well, that's the Lands and Natural Resources Minister, Samuel Abujinapo, there in that engagement on the Super Morning Show today with Kojo Yankson. Well, we've been hearing from another minister tonight. The Agric Minister, Dr. Brian Champong, has expressed government's commitment to dealing with the illegal mining issues. However, maintained that community support is needed to deal with these challenges. Government cannot do it alone. The Agric Minister has been speaking to Joy Business Editor George Riafe on PM Express Business Edition, which is tomorrow at 9 p.m.
It frightens me. I mean, we cannot allow Galamsey to
if Galamsey continues, we wouldn't have water for irrigation because we will be affecting the final product, which is the crops that we consume. So it frightens me, and it's something that we have to find. We need to have a national dialogue on it. The issue is now elevated. It's an existential threat to all of us, our water, our food, okay, the livelihoods of the people in the community that are being ravaged by Galamsey. And it's something that we need to have a national dialogue about it and agree on what needs to be done. Because Galamsey is illegal. Now we're left with enforcement.
Yeah. And so the backstops with a senior minister like you in government to make the proposals and make sure that it is done, because it has implications on our food supply.
But I'm saying that everything that government is doing about Galamsey, when we say government, is you and I going, or the soldiers going, okay, if we spread the 34,000 soldiers in the country, you spread them throughout Ghana, 34,000 soldiers, they will not be able to even stop Galamsey in Ashanti region. You need the communal effort, okay, not only the enforcement by central government. You need a mindset change by the people in the community, okay, that when you fight the people that are destroying your land, that are polluting your waters, and when you have backup, the security people come in. But if you just wait for central government, for the lack of a better word, to bring in police people or to bring in soldiers, they don't come and stay there. They come and perform an act and they leave. And the people are in the community. The soldiers are in, okay, let's stop, they go, we come back. But you need the community to take charge.
That's the Agric Minister, Dr. Brian Champong, there speaking on PM Express Business Edition. We'll air tomorrow. George Rafe will come up shortly and tell us more on what to expect from that particular interview. But many of you have been reacting and tweeting, or is it now, what do they call it on X? Okay, well, so let's go through it. Faustina Safo joins me in studio. We're doing Facebook, X.
And X.
Okay,
now,
we have WhatsApp as well.
Organized labor is trending #1 on all social media platforms. On Facebook, Papas says they have betrayed our trust, referring to organized labor. Philip Doe says this is an organized crime against Ghana as a country, and he puts the Ghana flag there. Hayford Anning says they saw no good reason to embark on such a politically motivated strike. Simple. Nino Black says one day we'll face the consequences of our actions and inactions. May God protect the poor in times like this. And that is comments coming through on Facebook. Let's move to X now. At King K says we must rise, referring to the youth. These old men are nothing like our forefathers who fought and left a good fertile land for us all. These ones are selfish and greedy and want to make sure they leave nothing behind. We must act now. Julian Addo says disorganized labor, cowards. Popo says bunch of hypocrites. This guy says, governor, he says organized labor sold their conscience and the trust of over 10,000 members for meager 400,000 Ghana cedis. So those are the comments on X pouring through. This guy, Dennis, says, a joke of a country. This is just laughable.
Well, Faustina Safo giving us some of your messages on X and on Facebook and on WhatsApp. Via WhatsApp is 05511119997. Some of you have sent a number of your messages. Kisia Duagbuga says, it's very clear the government has infiltrated the ranks of organized labor and divided their front. All hope is now in shambles. Only God can save us. Sami Nkumasi says organized labor is toothless bulldog which made the loudest barking but cannot bite, and he goes on and on. And this one from Nana Spintex, some of us are in surprise at the action of labor, and this one says, please, organized labor have disappointed Mother Ghana and Mother Africa. Please, has money changed hands is the question you are asking. Hope is a prayer walk, and we will not take organized labor so serious again. Organized labor only cause fear and panic. More of the messages, and this one says, even Kwame Mpukwasi is even concerned about the Catholic prayer walk. Well, you heard them. They said it's happening. And also this one says our suspicion has been confirmed. Organized labor leaders have been bought, you say. Well, you don't have evidence to that, do you? And this one from says God save us. Children yet unborn are already crying in advance. And a number of them still coming in as I read. And this one from Nane Kuyamwa Boating in Ablekuma Central says, we are grateful to the organized labor for listening to the voice of conscience by aborting the intended strike. I will also urge the government to work closely with organized labor to stem the tide. Some of your messages and reactions this evening. Thanks for sending them in. George Riafi is here with business. George, what's happening?
Well, MF, the price of LPG could be going up by at least 7% per kilogram due to current development on the market. And Digital Youth Hub targets training of million entrepreneurs as government plans to replicate the module across the country. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business. Kingdom Books and Stationery, Synthestanks, and Pepsodent Herbal and Charcoal. You're welcome back to business on Newsnight. Now, the price of LPG should be going up by some 7% per kilogram from next week. Now, that's according to the marketers of the products in the country. The move has been influenced by the rising prices of finished petroleum products on the international market. Gabriel Kumi is vice chairman of the LPG Market Association here in Ghana.
It has hit $80 as of today from about $70 last week. If this rate continues to rise in price of crude oil continues, then we expect to unfortunately pay more for LPG in the coming weeks. And this increase in price is also aggravated by the fact that our cedi also continues to decline. And if that happens, unfortunately, we are likely to pay more for LPG.
Gabriel Kumi is the vice chairman of the LPG Marketers Association. Well, oil marketing giant Gold has finally increased the price of some petroleum products at the pumps from this month. This is coming a week after other major oil firms also adjusted prices at the pumps. There is more in this report.
Gold is now selling a litre of petrol at 13 cedis, 43 pesos, up by 44 pesos from its old price some 3 weeks ago. However, diesel, on the other hand, has been reviewed going down by 20 pesos, and it's selling a litre today at 14 cedis, 29 pesos. It is not clear for now what has influenced this next review by the market leader, especially looking at the fact that all the major oil firms have indeed increased the price of petroleum products across board, with diesel and petrol going up. There are, however, projections that prices will be going up in the coming days due to the current situation on the international market. These projections have been influenced by development in the Middle East and fears that it could spread to other countries in the Gulf region.
And that is a business desk report. Well, checks on the market now shows that the price of crude oil has dropped from the over $80 a barrel, and it's now trading at $76 a barrel. If that trend should continue, well, maybe you might be excused from these projections. The prices could be going up from next week. Let's still stay on the sector because the National Petroleum Authority is challenging claims that the new procurement measures for importing LPG has resulted in pockets of shortage on the market. It follows the warning by the LPG marketers that the new format or program for bringing in these products will result in serious shortage of the products on the market. Mohammed Abdul Qudus is the communications manager at the National Petroleum Authority.
So the issue that we see in Western region is artificial. It is not something that is of national character at all. And like I said from the beginning, we have more than enough in the country to meet the demands of the people. The issue is just about a certain technicality around distribution. That is as a result of the reduction in the volumes that we were expecting from Atwabo.
And you are saying by next week we should have it fixed?
That's the communication we are having from Atwabo. And we believe same to be true. And we're hoping that it will come to pass.
Mohammed Abdul Qudus is the communications manager at the National Petroleum Authority, speaking to my colleague Pius Kujubaka over there. Two other stories, and director at the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research, Professor Peter Kote, is asking government to address taxation challenges affecting small and medium-sized enterprises. Speaking to Joy Business at a roundtable discussion by the Finance Ministry, he said that government investment in SME growth must be complemented with a friendly business environment.
There were other things, trading, getting entrepreneurs to prepare books. All of this have been done. Why did it fail? I think that point for me very important. We need to take a step back if we want to make this SME goal work. And I also share the view that it's a great concept, but let's take a step back and see how we make this work.
And that is economist Professor Peter Court, that is the director of the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research. Now, government has revealed that it is planning to replicate its digital youth hub tech lab across the country. The hub is expected to serve as an innovative space for young tech entrepreneurs to build sustainable tech-based businesses in the country. The first of the structure is currently under construction at the University of Ghana, Legon, and should be ready by December. Let's hear from the Vice President, Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia.
So all the empirical evidence shows a direct positive correlation between digitalization and economic growth. And the countries that take advantage of the fourth industrial revolution are the countries that are going to create the jobs. So you need to make sure that the youth in our country have the skills to be participants in this fourth industrial revolution.
Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia is the Vice President inspecting that tech hub at the University of Ghana, Legon. And the tech hub is being established under the Ghana Cares program across the country. And that's all for business on Newsnight. It's time for sports with Wow.
Hello, George. Just interesting how you mentioned the sports there. Yeah. But it's a few hours to the big game involving the Black Stars and Sudan in the AFCON qualifier. And ahead of that, head coach of the Black Stars, Otto Addo, has been speaking, and he's been calling on the players to exhibit fearlessness come tomorrow to guarantee victory for the senior national team as they search for their first 3 points in the 2025 AFCON qualifiers.
There's a high probability, I think, that we win, and it comes with preparations, it comes with consciousness, and so I'm very, for me, even when I was playing, to get success, it's always on the other side of fear, so I fear God, but that's it, and for me, I'm fearless, and if our players will get or have this attitude and show the passion and they will be fearless, then I'm very, very sure that the probability is high, very high, that we win.
Well, that's head coach Otto Addo, that the probability of Black Stars winning tomorrow is high. However, for the assistant coach for Sudan, Ignatius Osei Fosu, he says Sudan are equally a big team.
Sudan is a big team because when you look at the group we are with, Sudan is with Ghana. Ghana is the biggest team. After that is Sudan, because Sudan has also won the AFCON once. The mission is to qualify for the AFCON. And it's only unfortunate that we have Ghana as our next opponent. But for us, we just want to qualify. And for us, any team that comes our way, we try to do the job and qualify. So it's not about beating Ghana for the first time or beating, but there's first time to everything. We had never beaten Mauritania. We beat them for the first time. So everything is...
Yeah, everything is possible. Ignatius Osei Fosu, assistant coach to Kwesi Appiah, who is the head coach. So, for tomorrow, 4 p.m. the Craft Sports Stadium, the game will be happening. That's it for sports.
We look forward to that. Thank you very much, Musbao. Now, let's do climate focus. And tonight, I'll take you to the northern Ghana, where the impact of climate change has gone beyond weather and related matters to issues of unemployment, peace, and security. Well, this piece was put together by our partners from Youth Bridge Foundation. There's more in the following report.
In the heart of West Africa, beneath its burning sun and upon its parched earth, a story of survival, conflict, and the quest for peace unfolds. This is northern Ghana, where the consequences of climate change are not just statistics, but stark realities that shape the destinies of its people. The Fulani and nomadic people and the Dagombas, farmers rooted to the land, find themselves at the crossroads of tradition and the harsh realities of climate change. Dams that once sustained life have dried up, leaving behind more than just barren land.
In the dry season,
the little water remaining in the dam for us to use becomes muddy, making it difficult for us to use it. The dam used to be deep with clean water.
The arrival of the Fulani and their herds in Dagomba land sparks conflict. Lands once fertile are now battlegrounds, where survival is pitted against survival. Both sides bear the scars of this clash, with stories of loss and long.
And that's our climate focus, as brought to you in partnership with the Youth Bridge Foundation and the Climate Development Knowledge Network. It's time for fact-checking now. You're focusing on some claims made by Vice Presidential candidate of the governing New Patriotic Party, Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh. Head of our research desk, Raymond Nakwa, has more on the claims and verdict.
Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh claimed that former President John Dramani Mahama sacked everyone who hails from the Ashanti region when he became president, and then proceeded to name specific individuals. Now, they claim that ex-president Mahama sacked everyone from the Ashanti region in his government is false. Now, he gave specific examples, so let's take them. For example, Dr. Kwekwadjima Mensah, a native of Achimampunua, who was the Ashanti Regional Minister under Prof. Mills, was maintained as Regional Minister from July to January 2013. He was then appointed the Health Minister in 2014 under John Dramani Mahama and moved to the Works and Housing Ministry in 2015, a role he occupied till Mahama's term came to an end. But let us examine some of the other examples he gave. First, when Vice President Mahama became President in July 2012 to continue the unexpired term of the late Professor Mills, he indeed kept both Dr. Kwabena Dufour and Dr. Joatin as Ministers for Finance and Energy, respectively. When he was elected president, starting his full term, it is true that he did not appoint Dr. Dufour, but rather chose Sektepe to be Finance Minister. Unlike Dr. Dufour, then President Mahama made Dr. Otienje his Environment Minister, the very first one. Again, the claim that Betty Modijusu was sacked by former President Mahama is also false. The first female Attorney General and Minister for Justice was moved by President Mills from the Attorney General's ministry to the Education Ministry, and she resigned in January 2012 when President Mahama was not yet president.
On that fact-checking note, we end tonight's edition of Newsnight here on Joy 99.7 FM, and we are following closely that bail for the 52 protesters. We'll get updates subsequently. Strong and sassy Inimwa Inimado.
Hi, Ems.
Is here.
What's up?
Hi, darling.
How are your boobs?
Hey, they're fine.
It's breast cancer awareness month. You should expect. You should expect.
It's all about boobs. Yeah.
Yes, it is. So
they're
tonight
fine.
we're going to hear a story about a breast cancer survivor, the impact that it has on family. You know that this whole month we're talking about breast cancer awareness. So stick and stay. And if you're listening to us, check those boobies. Have you checked your boobs?
Yes, I have.
And they're good?
They're good. Very good.
Do you need confirmation?
No. They're fine.
All right.
They're ready for anything.
Wow.
Okay.
Well, we thank God for that.
Let's go.